Hello and welcome to another Knicks Nation live stream on this Friday night. A lot of stuff going on in Knicks land. Appreciate every single one of you guys tuning into the live stream. If you're rewatching this, hello. Smash the subscribe button. We are just getting started, ladies and gentlemen. It should be a fun show. You guys already know who I'm going to talk about. Multiple things I'm going to talk about. I am going to get into the Malcolm Brogdon signing, the Landry Shamet signing, what this means for Tyler Kolek or Back Home Daddy. I thought after the Shamet signing, the Knicks were done. Garrison Matthews signs. I'm thinking the New York Knicks are going to go into training camp with those two, let them battle it out, and that is it. Right? At least that's what I thought. Until the news dropped today that the New York Knicks have signed Malcolm Brogdon to a non-guaranteed contract. Let's freaking go. Knicks Nation, can we talk about how this front office is cooking, by the way? Can we talk about how this front office is cooking, ladies and gentlemen, as I wait for more of you to trickle in here? Once again, appreciate you in the chat. Guys, this Knicks team is a serious contender. You look at from the top to bottom, you look at the starting unit. You look at the bench now. We are a serious contender, not only in the East, but in the Western Conference as well. Guys, it was just last month where I said I wanted Malcolm Brogdon or Landry Shamet. I wouldn't be opposed to either. And what did Leon Rose do? The Knicks said, why not both? Why not both? This Rover, what's going on? Just Knicks, appreciate you in the chat. Isaiah Nostalgic, I see all of you in the chat. Appreciate you guys in the chat. We are just getting started here at the Knicks Nation live stream. Training camp is in a couple of weeks, so a lot of Knicks news is starting to trickle out here, right? The Knicks want to have their training camp invites done so we can get the training camp and then the guys can battle it out. But I think this is just the beginning of maybe a trade, right? I think this is just the beginning to maybe something bigger to come. Look, Malcolm Brogdon, the best part is he is a floor general. 6'4", 225-pound point guard who's a knockdown threat. 6 of his 9 seasons, 38% or better from three. And yes, he has dealt with durability issues, right? But like Jordan Clarkson, Brogdon has been in losing situations. Portland Trail Blazers, Washington Wizards. The motivation behind playing, I don't really know the motivation behind that. But now you bring in Brogdon, you add in Jordan Clarkson, you add in Yabusele and Shamet. That is now 2 former 6 Man of the Year coming off the pine. Coming off the pine. 2 of them former. Now look, I know it was quite a bit ago. And we don't forget him winning it over Emmanuel Quickly. We don't forget that. Right? But last year's weak bench is no more. Is no more, guys. It's gone. This year, it's elite. It's elite, man. So, guys, get ready for a tremendous season. Obviously, there's still some work to do because we can. I'm going to dissect this. Like, what does this mean for Tyler Kolek? What does this mean for Back Home Daddy? Ian Begley hinted that maybe a Miles McBride trade.
Bruh.
I wouldn't want that. But one thing the New York Knicks are coming into the 2025-2026 season saying is that we are serious about winning an NBA championship. We are serious about winning an NBA championship. We don't have time to possibly let Tyler Kolek grow and give him the reign, give him the minutes off the bench. We'd rather bring in vets who have experience, who have played in big games, and see what they have left in the tank. Now, look, I'm excited over this Brogdon signing. I really am. But he could be shot. He could be done. If you look at his game log over his last few years, you get it's a little bit fragile. A little bit fragile. Right? But Knicks have options now, guys. Knicks have options, and I'm excited to see it through. Hit some of your comments. Once again, appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Vibes, what's going on? This Rover. Andy says we're going to have the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th man awards. What's going on, Andy? People are saying Malcolm's concerns are with his glass bones. Yeah, this Rover. Malcolm Brogdon, if you look at his game log over his last few seasons, right? 24 games with the Wizards. 39 games with the Blazers. Obviously, we know him out in Boston, where he had 67 games and shot 44% from 3. 1, he can handle the rock. 2, he is a sniper. 3, he can give you a little bit of defense. Now, look, he's 32, right? He's 32. Jordan Clarkson's 31. We're building depth, man. A once weak bench in the NBA is no more. No more. Like that's what truly excites me the most. Like the New York Knicks came into this summer with the thought process, we need to improve our bench. Our starting 5 is great. Don't touch it. You had the Giannis trade rumors that many just didn't think were true anyway. You got the starting 5 set. You got a healthy Mitchell Robinson. So now let's go into this year. Continuity in the second year. You re-sign Mikal. Mitch is here for another year. Hopefully you can get something done with him. Let's strengthen the bench. Get rid of the coach. And see what the new revamped bench, a second year of continuity, will do with this team. Right? So what do? They bring in Jordan Clarkson. They bring in Yabusele. They bring in Landry Shamet. They bring in Malcolm Brogdon. You have the sophomore players. Now, Landry Shamet, Malcolm Brogdon, non-guaranteed deals. Right? Non-guaranteed deals. So, during training camp, it's going to be the talk of the town. Who's going to make it? Who's going to get cut? Who's going to get traded? Do they both make it? We shall see on the next episode. Oh, man. I'm excited. Isaiah says, yo, gotta be honest, and if Brogdon is fully healthy, his impact can be better than Clarkson. I agree, Isaiah. Like, Brogdon is one of those players that intrigued me simply due to the fact that defensively he wasn't a slouch. And look, yes, he's had durability concerns over his last 2 seasons, but from 3, he's a sniper, and he can create his own shot. He got some handles. And again, the New York Knicks are taking the stress off of our captain, Jalen Brunson, who over the last few seasons, couple of seasons, seems like when the NBA playoffs have gone further and further, like we have been going further and further, it seems like Jalen Brunson wears out a little bit. Teams start to throw double teams at him, and he can't get nothing done, as we saw during the last game in Indiana. Now you're bringing some ball handlers in here, man. You're bringing Brogdon. You're bringing Clarkson. These guys can handle the rock, not the rack. These guys can create their own shot. Right? I'm excited, man. I am. Vibe says crazy our bench can hang with most starting lineups in the league. Edward, what's going on? Salute. Leon the GOAT. What's going on, Edward? Appreciate you in the chat. Appreciate you rocking with us tonight on the Knicks Nation channel. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. The latest news is Malcolm Brogdon is a New York Knicks training camp invite. Landry Shamet is back in a New York Knicks uniform. And here we go. Got a poll in the YouTube chat. Who is the biggest bench addition for the New York Knicks? Is it Malcolm Brogdon? Is it Jordan Clarkson? Is it Gershon Yabusele? Is it Landry Shamet? So far, Yabusele and Malcolm Brogdon, 16 votes, are winning that poll. Get your votes up. Hit the Discord. Merch dropping soon. Giving away some stuff over in the Discord. Make sure you guys are in there, man. Rick, what's going on, man? Just talking about the signing of Malcolm Brogdon and what is to come from that signing. Rick, hope all is well. Hope you're enjoying your summer. Nostalgic says, move JB off the ball. I'm starting Malcolm. Edward says Kolek is getting traded. Yeah, he really said he's starting Malcolm Brogdon. Kolek is getting traded from Edward. Now we move on to the Tyler Kolek situation. Funny thing is, we just started our player previews. Jordan Clarkson video is dropping tomorrow. Chris and I recorded a Tyler Kolek episode, and we said he might get traded. This was before the signings of Shamet and Brogdon. We might scrap that. We don't know. But yeah, in terms of Tyler Kolek, let's go to the great Ian Begley, right? I know it's a long paragraph. So Ian Begley says, if the Knicks want to keep both Brogdon and Shamet, they will have to trade one of their own players to create a roster spot. Then he goes on to say, interesting note, trading either Pacom Daddier or Miles McBride. Then you're like, what, Ian? Would clear enough cap space to sign both Shamet and Brogdon. There are other combinations of players the Knicks can trade to create the space to add both veterans, but those two are being mentioned because it would be the most direct path for the Knicks to take if they wanted to keep both vets. I'd be surprised if the Knicks made a move like that ahead of training camp. I'd assume they'd let things play out in training camp preseason before making decisions. They highly think of Miles McBride. He thinks that Diawara is going to head into training camp on a rookie deal. The Knicks have also had other veteran free agents in for workouts lately. Thomas Bryant, who played well against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals with Indiana, has also been in New York for open gym workouts and really impressed the Knicks, per league sources. So the New York Knicks are not done at all. They're not done. And I just love that they are trying to improve their roster in a way where Knicks fans clamored for. Ball handler, shooters, right? Toughness and Yabusele. They are not done. So he is talking about the Knicks having Thomas Bryant in for workouts. And then he mentions Miles McBride and Pacom Daddier in a trade. And I'm like, now why would I trade Pacom Daddier, a second-year player who you drafted in the first round? You barely played him last year. I mean, Tom Thibodeau barely played him. You gave him a shot in game 1 against the Boston Celtics, right? You gave him a shot, and then you didn't go back to him. You played him sporadically. You didn't really give him consistent minutes for a rookie. And yes, does he need things to work on? Yes, but still young, super young. I am not giving up on, what is he, 20? I'm not giving up on a 20-year-old who I think has tools to be a really good player in the NBA, a rotational player in the NBA with tools to be a really good player in the NBA, as I should say. So Pacom Daddier, in my opinion, is not on the trading block if I was working in the front office, right? All I shifted to Tyler Kolek, right? All I shifted to Tyler Kolek when the Knicks signed Malcolm Brogdon. And I think Tyler Kolek's days are numbered. Because in a pivotal year, guys, you take a step back, right? I love Tyler Kolek. I love what he brings to the table. I love his decision making. I love his, passing ability. We saw some chemistry with Hukporti last year. Didn't really play that well in the summer league, but I don't really take that with any semblance of whatever, summer league, right? I mean, we had Kevin Knox balling like Kevin Durant in the summer league, and then he turned out to be, right? But in a year where the New York Knicks have championship aspirations and the Eastern Conference is wide open, man. I mean, the Knicks are the best team in the East, man. The Knicks are the best team in the Eastern Conference by these two signings. They, in my opinion, they are the best team in the Eastern Conference. They should reach the NBA Finals barring injury, right? At least that's the expectations. You have the expectations of championship aspirations. You have the new head coach. Do you really think Tyler Kolek is going to come in here and give them significant minutes? What they just told you is that they don't trust him like that. And they'd rather bring in a veteran presence who has played in big games, who shoots lights out, who can play a little bit of defense. The only concern with Malcolm Brogdon is his health. Can he stay on the court? The easiest path, in my opinion, is to ship off Tyler Kolek. You gave him all that guaranteed money when you drafted him. And it's unfortunate how, if the Knicks were to go down that route, it's unfortunate how his Knicks career will end, right? I mean, last year we were clamoring for Tyler Kolek. Tom Thibodeau refused to go to him during many games. And that's the past. I don't want to live in it. But it seems like that's the directions the Knicks go. Because if you were to ask me, what do you do? Like, Coach, what's going on, Coach? In the chat, Kolek for a 2030 second round pick. I've also heard that the Knicks may have to attach a second round pick to Tyler Kolek to get off of him. Vibe says, so more people are coming. This is just the beginning. Daddy is 19. I thought he just turned 20. 19, 20, super young. Right? Rick says, on paper, we look good. The games still have to be played. Yes, Rick. Vibe says, Tyler Kolek, man, he can walk. It's easier to say that, especially when you sign a Malcolm Brogdon. And guys, if the New York Knicks, if Malcolm Brogdon looked at this and he thought to himself, could I get cut? Like, I personally think Brogdon wouldn't sign if he thought he might get cut. Like, I think there's a wink-wink handshake deal in that. Like, bro, you're gonna make the roster. Just do your thing during training camp. Be a veteran presence, and let's go. We got you. Right? So, it's a business, man. And that's the route I would go to. That's the route I would go to. I would... Obviously, let's see what happens in training camp, right? I mean, it's so easy to say now, like, just give up on Tyler Kolek. He's still a 24-year sophomore player, right? But let's be real, guys. Do you really see him playing significant minutes this year? Honestly. I mean, we went down the rotation. It's already 9. Are you stretching it to 10? No. Unless someone gets hurt. Okay, I get it. Back-to-backs, you play with the lineups. But, come on. I'm excited, man. Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat. Again, thank you for the support as always. So, the Knicks can bring up to 21 players to training camp. They have 12 players on guaranteed contracts, plus the non-guaranteed for Shamet, Matthews, and Brogdon. Diawara will probably get invited. That leaves 5 open spots on training. They're to be invited for training camp. Probably McCullough Jr. or Pate. That's from Jeremy Cohen. I saw that tweet from Jeremy Cohen. Shout out to him. So yeah. Let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm so ready, man. Like, this year and the expectations, like, bring it on. Like, yeah, you can put us at the top of the Eastern Conference, but it doesn't matter until we see how it looks in April, May, and hopefully June. right? Hit some of your comments, hit the poll in the YouTube chat. Appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in, trickling in here. If you're just joining, the New York Knicks have signed Malcolm Brogdon a day after they signed Landry Shamet to non-guarantee contracts. And after a season of a weak bench last year, that's all we talked about. The bench is weak. How do we know if it's weak? If Tom Thibodeau won't expand the rotation, he won't even go to Daddy. He won't even go to Kolek. Hukporti, he finally went to, then he gets hurt. How do we know it's weak? A night in February, Tom Thibodeau can't expand the rotation past 7 guys, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks went from the weakest bench in the NBA to one of the deepest benches in the NBA in a matter of months. And, oh, by the way, they have one of the best starting fives in the NBA. Let's go. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Hit some of your comments. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Rick says, cap-wise, the best trade is Daddy, and however, that'll sting. Kolek salary below vet minimum. Yeah, that's why Ian Begley brought that up, right? But a part of me just can't wrap my head around you drafting Pack Home Daddy in the first round. I wouldn't say it would be a wasted pick, but I feel like we haven't seen him yet. We haven't seen him in a role. And look, he could just not be good. He could turn out to be really good. We don't know. And it's just, sometimes it's how things line up. Sometimes it's a player's situation. Like Pack Home Daddy on the Washington Wizards, you'll see him 25 to 30 minutes a night. Pack Home Daddy on the New York Knicks, is he on the rotation? I think he could be. I think he can crack the rotation with a strong training camp. He is one of the Knicks' best shooters. And he's big. And he showed flashes defensively last year. So that will sting, trading Pack Home Daddy. I wouldn't say I wouldn't like it. It will hurt, but I will understand it if the New York Knicks went down that route. But then you are super, like, you're relying on veterans like Brogdon, who can't stay healthy. Clarkson has an injury history, right? Shamet dealt with the shoulder last year, right? These guys have durability issues, right? So you need some youth to still, like, you don't want to just give up on youth. You don't. You want to develop them simultaneously as you build a championship roster. That's the best course of action. But Pack Home Daddy being traded will stay. And I don't think it will happen. I don't. So, Just Nick says trade Kolek. Isaiah says all the crying I see from other fan bases about Leon has been satisfying to see. Coach here says I trade Deuce before I trade Pack Home Daddy. Yeah, Ian Begley said that a lot of people within the front office love Deuce McBride. And look, Deuce McBride was inconsistent last year. He was. But during the playoffs, he started to pick it up a little bit. Obviously, he had that amazing block versus the Boston Celtics that I will never get out of my head, by the way. But Deuce McBride started to pick it up a little bit during the playoffs. Inconsistent season, yes. I had high expectations for Deuce. Dealt with a knee injury here and there. I don't think they're giving up on Deuce because his contract is so, I would say, valuable. Right? But we'll see. Leon Rose, I don't think he's done. Like, I tweeted 2 days ago, the rumors are over. We can focus on training camp and let's go. And then a day goes by. They signed Brogdon. You got Tyler Kolek rumors swirling. And it's like, okay. This is when the summer is really starting because training camp is in a couple of weeks. All right. Let me play Ian Begley really quick regarding Malcolm Brogdon, Landry Shamet, and what it means for the Knicks roster construction headed forward.
The Knicks will add Malcolm Brogdon on a one-year deal ahead of training camp. I'm told that deal is non-guaranteed, and that's the interesting part here because you get Brogdon on a minimum deal, that's a win. He is a veteran point guard. He's done a lot in this league. I know he's dealt with injuries, but the Knicks were looking for backup point guard depth, and they found it in Brogdon. The interesting thing is the Knicks can't exceed the second apron in team salary, and they signed Landry, Shamet yesterday. So with the way things sit now, they can sign a rookie free agent to get to where they need to be roster-wise and under the second apron, but they cannot keep both Brogdon and Shamet. And Brogdon and Shamet obviously play different positions, fill different needs for the Knicks, but unless the Knicks make a trade one of their players on traditional contracts here, they will not have the room to keep both Brogdon and Shamet. And so if you want depth at the point guard position, you want depth at the wing position, and you're the Knicks, you're going to have to make a move, or you're going to have to decide between Shamet or Brogdon. So interesting move here for the Knicks.
You're going to have to make a move, or you're going to have to decide between Shamet or Brogdon, which could be the avenue the Knicks go to, right? Again, Malcolm Brogdon, last year, 24 games. 39 games with the Portland Trailblazers, right? Like I said, I don't really want to look into this stuff too much because these veteran players on these crappy teams, and if I remember correctly, in Portland, he was having some really good games for them. You know, being coached by Chauncey Billups, and then unfortunately he just got shut down. But I think they were tanking that year, so maybe. Whoa, hello, Jalen Brunson ad popping up on my screen. Hello, so he hasn't played over 65 games. All right, so he's played over 65 games once in the past 6 seasons. No, more than that. So 8 seasons. So durability is a concern, but you're not asking him to play these minutes. Like, you're not asking him to play 23, 28. This is Malcolm Brogdon I'm talking about. You're not asking him to play these minutes, right? Maybe you cut these minutes in half. Maybe you cut them to 15. You preserve them, right? I mean, obviously, we know you still got Shamet there. You still got Jordan Clarkson. You still have, as of now, Kolek. Or you go into training camp and he could be washed. And you cut him. And then you just bring on Shamet. But something that I have learned is that when veterans, especially of Brogdon's caliber, and I'm not touting him to be, you know, a superstar or like a star player, when they sign with contenders, they kind of have a wink handshake deal on the table. Like, look, bro, like, just come into training camp, do your thing. We're not going to get cut. We'll figure out the roster. You'll make the team. Right? At least that's how I'm looking at it. But your options are now open, right? Tyler Kolek, in my opinion, is still valuable in this league. Like, teams could look at Tyler Kolek and think like, oh, look, he didn't really get a shot last year. And when he did, the assist to turnover ratio was really good. Remember that he had the stretch of games where he had, I think, about 22 straight assists without a turnover. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you don't really know what you got. But the Summer League, like someone said in the chat, the Summer League kind of hurt Kolek. Or the next kid just be looking at this like, look, this is a pivotal season. Like, this, guys, you look at the Eastern Conference, you got Kendrick Perkins saying that the New York Knicks are the best team in the East that will play in a second right here from Kendrick Perkins. So let me share my screen again. Nostalgia say he's fully healthy, closer to 36. This over here. Thanks for the correction. TA, what's going on? Rick says correct. On a meaningful winning team, Brogdon will cook. Yeah, look, that's why when people were looking at the Jordan Clarkson statistics, I'm like, yeah, under the numbers, he's an underrated passer, but he was with Utah, bro. Like, he was in a crappy situation. Like, he was in a losing environment. You bring these guys in a winning culture, and one thing the New York Knicks have been building and guys have been building in that locker room is a winning culture. You put them in that locker room, they've already been there, done that. I mean, their game 180, you know? This Rover says, I trust Leon to make the best informed decision. Clarkson is a backup shooting guard. I suppose Brogdon is a backup one. The Knicks have options, man. They do. And I think bringing in Brogdon gives them options for trading either Deuce or trading either Kolek. They got options, right? And we just have to wait and see. Leon Rose has surprised us in the past. So we shall see. But here is, let me turn off this music. Here is Kendrick Perkins talking on the New York Knicks.
Really is looking like the New York Knicks are head and shoulders, maybe along with a couple of other teams like the Cavaliers, above everybody else. How do you feel about them heading into this season?
They are. To me, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, right? We know that the Celtics, they are somewhat in the rebuild mode. Okay.
Newsflash, Kendrick Perkins. Shout out to Big Perk. Knicks are the best team in the East. I agree. This is from Stephon Bondi. People around the league are expecting the Knicks to make a move to have space to keep Brogdon and either Shamet or Matthews. So notice how he says people around the league are expecting the Knicks to make a move to have space to keep Brogdon and either Shamet or Matthews. So he's saying essentially, if you read it, if you dissect the tweet, which I don't really like to do, because sometimes X can be a cesspool. He says pretty much saying Brogdon is for sure getting the spot. But we shall see. But he's locked in around the league. So people are expecting the Knicks to make a move. I am too. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. Come hop in the chat. Join me and the crew, the Knicks Nation crew. We are just getting started. The news of the day, the New York Knicks signed Malcolm Brogdon after signing Landry Shamet. Nelly Nell, what's going on? Says, I like Shamet over Matthews. Simply due to the fact that Landry Shamet has continuity with the guys, right? He has the chemistry already. Matthews, really great three-point shooter, right? There was a season where he shot 44% from three, right? But Shamet has the chemistry. Shamet has the playoff experience. Shamet really impressed me and Knicks fans in the playoffs when Tom Thibodeau went to him. Really wanted to go to him more. But, guys, Shamet also has the passion that we seek and desire, right? So I was all for bringing Shamet back, but then you add Brogdon in the mix, and you're sitting there kind of like in a daze, right? Because a once weak bench is now a strong bench, and they're not done. And you still have the sophomores and Okporty. What's going to happen with McCullough, right? Muhammad Diarwawa is probably going to be a project, and I think he has a bright future. Then you have Mitchell Robinson and the starting five already. And then you're sitting to yourself like, this Knicks team is, I mean, dare I say elite? And yes, Knicks Nation calling this Knicks team elite, guys, but I will call it like it is, man. This is going to be a special year for us, guys. Get excited. I genuinely cannot wait for October 22nd against the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. This is going to be a year. Dis Rover says, you've been wrong quite a bit before. On what, Dis Rover? On what? It's just an opinion. Coach says, get another long defender. Jabroni, what's going on? Says, Deuce stays, no question. Kolek is out, not Deuce McBride. Coach here says, Brogdon makes both Deuce and Kolek expendable. A healthy Brogdon. Let's not forget that. A healthy Brogdon, right? Like, because if you look at Brogdon, the full package, can dribble, can create, can shoot, can defend a little bit, right? Now, defense, if you look at the analytics, they've kind of taken a step back over the last couple of years. Again, Wizards, Trailblazers, right? So, but when you're asking him to come off the bench for 15 minutes, 10, 15 spot minutes, in those 15 minutes, you cut his minutes in half, his production, in my opinion, will go up. So, I got you, Dis Rover. But I've been wrong too. Jabroni says Brogdon doesn't make Deuce expendable. He can't stay healthy. Deuce plays 70-plus games. You'll be lucky to get 50 out of Brogdon. Yes, look, durability. I don't think Deuce is going anywhere, guys. I don't. But I thought it was interesting that Ian Begley brought up Deuce McBride's name in a tweet that SNY tweeted, that because if you just trade Kolek, it doesn't make the money work, right? You got to make some other magic happen. So that's why Deuce McBride's name has come up, because one, Ian Begley tweeted it. Two, his contract is so tradable. But I don't think they go down that route. Look, one thing the front office has shown us is that they are very creative, right? You got Mike Brown in there, Leon Rose, obviously very creative, not afraid to make moves. Brock Aller, genius over there, wherever he's making his moves from. Jabroni says Leon is not playing about this chip. Man. Guys, like truly, look at the roster. Truly exciting stuff, man. The bench is elite, and it's like we're glossing over. You know, I have the Jordan Clarkson player preview video coming out tomorrow. You still got Yabusele, and you're sitting there like, man, this bench could be one of the best in the NBA. You're bringing a former Sixth Man of the Year winner in Clarkson. Then you're bringing another former Sixth Man of the Year winner in Brogdon. And you're really building a strong foundation. Like, your depth is super valuable in this league. The Knicks are looking at this like, yeah, we were the most healthiest team last season, but who's to say that carries over this season, right? You can't take chances like that. Depth is important. One thing the Pacers have shown us is that they are not afraid. Rick Carlisle is not afraid to go 10 deep. In a playoff, in a game 5, game 6, he's not afraid to expand his rotation. And that is where I believe the NBA is going. You see the Oklahoma City Thunder. You see them with their depth. You see them expanding their rotation. I don't think that you can't win an NBA championship without depth in today's NBA, in my opinion, which is one of the reasons why they let go of Tom Thibodeau. Because could you imagine you give Tom Thibodeau all these new shiny toys to play with, and you tell him to figure it out? Will he really figure it out? Now, Mike Brown has his flaws as well, but I'm just saying, like, this is all part of the process, the decision making in the front office, and I'm truly excited to watch it play out in training camp. Again, the Knicks play October 2nd, guys, against the 76ers in Abu Dhabi. I mean, October 2nd. Like, how many? Like, that's in what, 2.5 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Let's go. I'm excited, man. Look. Hit some of your comments. Check on the poll. Check on the YouTube poll. So I got the YouTube poll in the chat. Who is the biggest bench addition for the New York Knicks? How many votes we got on that poll? 33. Is that 33? Yeah, 33. Brogdon, Jordan Clarkson, 33%. Yabusele at 39%. I would have to tend to agree with the winning vote right now. Yabusele, I think, is the jack of all trades. Talk about a big man who can shoot. Talk about a guy who can throw in different lineups. Talk about a veteran that has had his voice heard playing for France, right? He's acting like a veteran. He's acting like a true leader. He's strong, can run the fast break, can dunk on your head, can shoot. You can put him with Cat. He do many things with Yabusele, and look. Guys, this is like, do we have flaws? Yeah, defense. Like, that's our flaw. Defense, right? At least in my opinion. And that's something Mike Brown is going to have to, with his staff, with his newly assistant coach, they're going to have to come in here and set these defensive plays and, go from there. Nostalgia says, yup, season here. Yeah, I know we're knee deep in a football. Football just starting up, but, basketball a little bit after that, and let's go. out in here in New York, don't really have anything to root for in terms of your football teams, no matter who you root for. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Jets look good. Giants are rating on Jackson Dart. So Nelly Nell says, I like Shamet over Matthews. Well, I'm way behind. Let me catch up on these comments. Got a lot of catching up to do with these comments. Yes, Nelly Nell. The Knicks hired Lange for player development. Yup. Check. Nostalgia says defense is the #1 flaw. Yeah, look. That's one thing that concerns me, right? Can you win an NBA championship with 2 of your best players as your weakest defenders? 2 of your best offensive players as your weakest defenders. Can you win an NBA championship with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns together on the court? As we saw last year, the Indiana Pacers were picking them apart, especially Karl-Anthony Towns. So that is a question. Like, there are questions. Like, I could look at this team and say, where are the questions? There are questions. Defense is still going to be on top of my list. How does Mike Brown and his new coaching staff and new assistants utilize a system to best suit Karl-Anthony Towns and to best suit Jalen Brunson, right? Is that with just starting a Mitchell Robinson alongside Karl-Anthony Towns to not cancel out his flaws, but to help him out a little bit? We saw with the starting Mitchell Robinson in the playoffs that the Knicks got off to better starts, right? Remember, it seems like every game they got down big, right? With Josh Hart, right? So that's the #1 question, defense. So, and we haven't even spoke about Josh Hart. What do they bring him off the bench? Does he start? But one thing, in my opinion, his minutes will decrease, and that was beneficial for the New York Knicks. Josh Hart was at his best when he was at 25, 30 minutes a game, not when he was at 35, 40 minutes a game. Now we got options. So, yeah. Nostalgia says OKC won by playing defense. The fan base has gone all offense. Look, the New York Knicks currently can shoot you out of the gym. But, yes, there will be questions, and we'll talk all about that. But the news of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm Brogdon is a Knick, and I can't wait to get it started. But if you guys were to put a percentage, you think they trade Kolek? You think he's out of here? Honestly, let's be real. Let's be real with one another. Let's talk real. Let's talk business. Is Tyler Kolek out of here? Because this is the Knicks' potential second unit. McBride, Clarkson, Brogdon, Yabusele, Hart, Shamet. That's not even including the sophomore crew. Right? Nostalgic says yes. I believe Kolek is gone. Isaiah says yes. I believe Kolek is gone. This Rover says somebody has to be on the chopping block to retain both Brogdon and Shamet. Top Notch says yes. Rick says 55-45, he's gone. Nelly Nelson says it's a strong possibility. Next question. Yeah, Nostalgia says where is he getting minutes at? I can't find him. Next question. You think Kolek is gone now? I just totally drew a blank. What was my next question? All right, so we're shipping off Kolek, right? How deep is the rotation? Because you figure you're starting the starting five. I mean, whether it's Mitch or Hart, I think it's Mitch locked and loaded, locked and set, ready to go, right? Top Notch says all the sophomores are on the way out. 90% chance Kolek is gone from Jabroni. Coach CS says no space for Deuce either. Coach trying to get Deuce up out of here. McBride locked in the rotation, right? Clarkson locked in the rotation, right? Yabusele locked in the rotation. Josh Hart locked in the rotation. That's 9. I haven't even counted Hukporty. who I think will be the backup to Mitchell Robinson. Or the Knicks can go small and play Yabusele at the 5. They can mix and match that. I haven't even said anything about Daddy. So it's great to have depth. But yes, I do think right now the rotation is set at 9. There are going to be some nights. Look, Mitchell Robinson is going to have load. They're going to load manage the hell out of Mitchell Robinson, as they should. So you're going to see a lot of Hukporti. Malcolm Brogdon, veteran, he's not going to play every day if he makes the team. The Knicks are going to manage the hell out of his minutes. Shamet, I think, will get some consistent time, right? So either way, these are good problems to have, right? These are good problems to have. You can never have enough depth, right? Good problems to have. Figure it out during training camp. Will there probably be some guys that will be unhappy about their minutes? Maybe. But I don't see that happening from Clarkson because he's been playing off the bench pretty much his entire career. Again, no player since 2020 has scored more bench points than Jordan Clarkson. He's not going to care. Deuce. I don't know. How does Mike Brown feel about Deuce? Coach Ye got me thinking about Deuce now, man. Coach Ye got me thinking about Deuce. I think Mike Brown would love Deuce. Yabusele's going to play. So, Top Notch has got to get a long defender. Yeah. We do. Because if the way you look at this, McBride guard, Clarkson guard, Brogdon guard, Hart, Swift Harvey Knife, right? Can get exposed in some matchups, but he's a solid defender. He can defend 4s. Shamet, underrated defender. But your only big, quote-unquote, off the bench is Yabusele and Hukporti mixed in there. Right? Really would like to see McCullough Jr., but I just don't see the path for him to play. Still has to have his contract to deal with. Daddy I have high hopes for. I'm hoping Daddy can turn into that. Maybe. Noah says we should start Deuce McBride. Yeah, I've seen some people suggest not starting Mitchell Robinson, but maybe throwing in another shooter in the starting 5. Right? Him and Jalen Brunson, the splits are really good. Deuce McBride and Jalen Brunson, right? So I don't think they go down that path. They will probably tinker with it during preseason, as they should. But yeah. Kev not playing. Rick says Knicks almost have half of their games on national television. It is a big year for us. I love that DJ bomb. Shout out to Funk Flex. Coach has a bunch of 6'2", 6'4" shooting guards. Nostalgia says I think Mitch comes off the bench. Depends on the matchup, right? Like Cleveland is the team in your way. That is the team that you're trying to beat. No other team, in my opinion, should be on our level. And that is not me being cocky. That is not me being over optimistic. I'm just talking real. Like no other. It should be Knicks, Cleveland, Eastern Conference Finals. Barring something drastic happens and the Knicks fall down to 4th and the Cleveland Cavaliers, or it should be Knicks Cleveland. So it obviously there's going to be some teams that will surprise you in the East, but look, man, in a year where the East is weak out there, the Knicks are gearing up for a hell of a run and a hell of a season. And let's get it started. Yuri with the super chat. Yuri always showing support, man. Shout out to Yuri. And I smell a trade incoming. Far from over. Yes, and we've been talking about that. Does that trade involve sophomore player Tyler Kolek? Is Tyler Kolek on the chopping block? Do you trade Tyler Kolek for cash, picks? Second round pick, not picks. Second round pick. Ship him to Utah, maybe? Because right now, Brogdon's the better player. signing Brogdon just, I mean, maybe signed, sealed, and delivered Tyler Kolek up out of here. Again, we talked about how unfortunate that may be. When healthy, Brogdon's the better player. Because he can play defense. So, yeah. That's where the Knicks are at, guys. That's where the New York Knicks are at, right? We are in contender status. We have guys coming to the Knicks to win an NBA championship. Jordan Clarkson said it. Shamet had other suitors. He wanted to be a Knick. Yabusele said he loved what they were building in the locker room. He wanted to be a Knick. We actually have players coming to the Knicks to win an NBA championship, guys. What a time. What a time, man. Jabroni says Brooklyn could use Kolek and we could use a second round pick. Yeah, we could. We could. Sham and Malcolm. Did they invite Thomas Bryant to camp? According to Ian Begley, Thomas Bryant is on the New York Knicks radar. Right? He is on the New York Knicks radar. Let me confirm that. Yeah, he is on the New York Knicks radar. I guess the New York Knicks were hurt so much by his Game 6 performance out in Indiana that they were like, can you come to training camp, please? I can't believe that, man. Thomas freaking Bryant, Game 6, just like Ray Allen in the corner. We're past that, man. On to bigger and better things, right? Yes, 21 players they can invite up in training camp. They got to cut it down to obviously 15. We are speculating here, man. We are speculating where do the Knicks go. Is Tyler Kolek on the block? And I think he is, man. I think that's the most logical option. Don't really know about the numbers, though. But that's the most logical option. See, if you go on X, right? I just type in Tyler Kolek in the search bar. Now get Tyler Kolek off my team. Love you, kid. Wish you luck. But business is business. Tyler Kolek is a potential trade candidate for the Knicks, and they've already received an offer from another team. That is from Chris. Can't pronounce his last name. Chris. So, and I tweeted this earlier. Tyler Kolek, I'm sorry. Mitchell Robinson and Tyler Kolek in Utah. Oh, man. You guys are hilarious, man. Yeah, man. Knicks fans are ruthless. Like, don't let the door kick you on the way out, man. It was just 4 months ago where Knicks fans were claiming for Kolek. Now we signed Brogdon. We're like, look, man, sorry, but we're trying to run a ring here. You probably weren't going to play anyway. Brogdon's the better player. Yes, he has durability issues. But I will say this about Tyler Kolek. I've been seeing him work out in the gym with Brickley, with veterans, with, I think, Jordan Clarkson. I saw him playing one-on-one. He is working on his craft. He is a hell of a worker. Reminds me a lot of Jalen Brunson. So, although we are kind of giving up on him, I don't want to just give up on him that quickly, right? I mean, look, we trade him. We win an NBA championship. Who cares, right? That's the ultimate goal. But I'm sure the Knicks are thinking about this in the front office. Like, Tyler Kolek is a hell of a worker. We love what he does behind the scenes. He sat his ass on the bench last season with a coach that didn't really like him and didn't really want to play him. So, you know, these are things that the Knicks front office are pondering. He's a good player, man. He's a good. He had chemistry with Porty. He had chemistry with some of the guys, and I think he could be a very valuable player in today's league. But as soon as the Knicks signed Brogdon, you point to Kolek and you're like, Do we need you now? Do we need you? I don't think we do. It sucks, but let's be real. You guys are hilarious, man. Nostalgia says he wasn't going to play this year. Jabroni says I was never a big fan of Kolek. I always thought Rokas was better. Yeah, Rokas is never coming over, though, man. He just won't come. He just won't come. He's playing really well. But yeah, guys. Look, either way, these are good problems to have. Brogdon is a New York Knick, and it's something where I couldn't, like I said, I'll circle back to what I said to start this show. I wanted Brogdon or Landry Shamet. The New York Knicks said, why not both? Why not both? Let's see how it looks like in training camp. Let's see how it meshes in training camp. And we're not afraid to trade someone because, again, new coach. This could be Mike Brown. Mike Brown was front and center watching Tyler Kolek in the Summer League. Again, I don't want to judge Summer League that harshly, but he was there. Like, he was front and center. Maybe he's like, yeah, I can't. He's not going to play. Like, I can't do this. Again, I could just be talking out my ass here, but I'm just new coach, Mike Brown, new system, championship aspirations. You go from one of the weakest benches in the NBA last season to one of the best benches in the NBA like that. All while being in the first apron. Shout out to JB taking that less money, right? So, Nicky Axe says, we are not keeping both Brogdon and Shamet. One will be let go. Yeah, look, rumors are swirling. Obviously, Stefan Bondy thinks that the New York Knicks are keeping both. I think we are keeping both. I would love to keep both. I would love to keep both. So, but one thing is clear, Knicks have options, right? We trying to win a chip. That's it. Yeah, man. Look. I know this is harsh. I wouldn't phrase it like that, Yuri, because we still have to develop our young talent. We still have to develop Daddy A. We still have to develop Diawara, who many are calling a baby Pascal Siakam, who I think has a bright future in this league. We just don't know. We still have to develop Hukporti. That's our young talent, and I think Hukporti could have a big year as well. But there's only one basketball, and there's only so many spots, right? So it's like pick and choose your battles. Like, who do you think has a bigger future between the sophomores? Maybe they have a ranking system. Maybe Kolek is on the bottom of that list. We don't see a path for Kolek. He's never going to start as long as Jalen Brunson is here. You're bringing Clarkson. You're bringing Deuce. I mean, he's at the end of the bench already. He's small, gets picked on. You really want another guard like that? You bring in Brogdon, bigger guard, can defend a little bit. Okay, now we're talking. We are trying to win a ring, guys. We are trying to win a ring for the first time since 1973. Please. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. And I'm actually on board with that. Like I'm actually on board with that because we have a plan, right? We have a plan. We have a plan, guys. But yeah, anything else I missed? So that was the news of the day. Once again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Hop into Discord. I will be giving away merch very soon. The merch is dropping very soon. The Knicks Nation hats are dropping very soon. I will be giving some away on the Discord over in the giveaway section. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Size 9 brings up a good point. The problem is we are wasting picks. Yeah, we own our first round pick next year. So that is a plus. But if they were to ship off a Daddy A, if they were to ship off a Kolek, they traded up for Tyler Kolek, right? They paid him the most guaranteed money for a second round pick ever. They did that. So yes, there's the other side of that. You can say we're wasting our picks, but we don't know what Daddy A is yet. Barely played last year. He was behind a head coach who didn't believe in young players. At least them. Right? Again, rotations sucked last year. They were terrible. They honestly were truly god-awful. They sucked. Daddy A should have been playing, man. But, new season, man. What? That's it. New coach, new system, new season. But yeah, I understand that sentiment, but at the same time, the Knicks still have their pick next year. They still have Huck Porty, who I think is not a waste of a pick. I think Huck Porty has a bright future. And yeah, we just have to wait and see who they pick next year. Hopefully it's late in the first round, or if they even use that pick or include it in a trade, right? We just I don't even think they can trade that pick, if I'm not mistaken. I got to check on that. But yeah, want to win a chip, got to sacrifice. You got to make sacrifices, man. Guys, this was fun. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, check out the Jordan Clarkson player preview dropping at 12 p.m. tomorrow. Once again, appreciate you guys. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff. Did I miss anything? No. Brogdon is here. You got the Tyler Kolek rumor swirling. So we will just wait for that domino to fall. Who do the Knicks trade? Do they cut Shamet? Do they cut Matthews? Do they cut a Brogdon, right? Or do they trade one of the young guys? But we are awaiting that news to come. But, guys, we are going into this season with championship aspirations for the first time in God knows how long. Like, we are going into this season like the New York Knicks are 1A in the Eastern Conference. Because the Cavs are good. I don't want to just say the Cavs are, the B team in the East. Cavs are a really good regular season. They're in the playoffs. They still got a lot to show. But all in all, we're building a foundation. We're building a culture, and we should just be ecstatic going into a new season with a new coach. Another year of Brunson, another year of the guys, another year of the continuity, a happy Mikal. And the Knicks should be really, really freaking good this year. And now we're just mixing and matching the pieces. And hopefully we can reach our goal, which is an NBA championship. All right, hit some of your comments before I head up on out of here. Coach says, I don't care about picks right now. And we can't keep wasting picks and then fixing the mistake by sending out more picks from size 9. Yeah. But picks. Yeah, I get it. But, like I said, win an NBA championship, no one's going to care. Chris, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Brogdon is a high basketball IQ point guard. We need him. Yeah, guys. Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate the crew in the chat as well. Appreciate the Super Yuri. But I'm going to get some rest. I will be back again. Catch the video tomorrow coming out at 12 p.m. Jordan Clarkson player preview. That series is starting up. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Let's go, Knicks. I'll catch you guys next time. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.